And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. I have known the folks at Madisonville Marine for 15 plus years. That is a drop in the bucket, folks. They are celebrating their 40th year in business. And how do you last 40 years selling boats in a small town? You take care of your customers and you keep them coming back. There is no better place to buy a boat. It's their slogan. It's the truth. madmarine.com. Okay, right here, are the people we counted down earlier in the show, our rankings that we combined our ballots, and that's who we had as the top 10 players on Tennessee's team this year. Jalen Hurd, number 1, followed by Cam Sutton, Alvin Kamara, Josh Dobbs, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Derek Barnett, Preston Williams, Darren Kirkland Jr., and then a tie for that last slot between Ethan Wolf and Jawan Jennings. Now we get to the question part of our show. So each segment gets its own question. We've already jumped right here. Most important newcomer. And I will reveal, since you can read it on your screen, Drew Richmond is the offensive lineman. 3 votes from us in the panel. 2 votes went to Jonathan Kongbo. Most important newcomer, I would have gone with Drew Richmond there. I did go with Drew Richmond there. I guess I was the deciding ballot. And the reason being, I think his slot, if he's going to hold down the left tackle position, that's the most important slot you can have on that offensive line right now. So to me, he is the most important guy who didn't play last year. And in that, we take transfers, guys who are injured, guys who redshirted. Very quickly, your thoughts on Richmond versus Kongbo. Those of you who took Richmond, why'd you do it? And those who took Kongbo, why'd you do it? And everybody gets about 30, 40 seconds to tell me why. Do you remember who you took?
Yeah, I took Kongbo. It needs to be Richmond. If it's Richmond, Tennessee's a better team. I'm not convinced at how good he is yet. Kongbo, I think, is a terrific athlete. Watching the tape of him, heck, watching him lift weights with ready for Alabama in the background. I just think he's a very gifted player that's going to make an impact. And I think he'll have a greater impact than Richmond, but you want it to be Richmond because of the position that he plays. I'm just not quite sold that he's ready to be a good player.
Okay.
Well, and the word important that you phrased that question with, John, that was the key to me. He is the most important. You are much more limited in other options with Richmond at left tackle versus Jonathan Kongbo if he doesn't work out or isn't as good as the hype. They have 9 scholarship defensive ends. So you could have Kyle Phillips or Corey Vereen or other guys step up. Richmond it may not be the best, but I think he's the most important of those newcomers.
Russell, what do you think?
It was definitely a difficult debate. I went back and forth between the two, but I went with Kongbo partly based on some of the hype that we've talked about. I mean, he seems like the proverbial 5-star can't-miss talent, and I just feel like if he's a guy who's able to get on that defensive end slot opposite Barnett, that could take Tennessee from having a defense that's very good to potentially a dominant defense.
Especially with a new defensive coordinator who likes to bring pressure from all over the place. So you see pass rushers licking their chops, I would think. Bob Hodge, you were the other one that took Drew Richmond.
I took Drew Richmond. I think I went back and sort of some of the same reasons you guys talked about Kongbo a little bit, because if you look at the measurables that he had coming out of high school, he wasn't just a big offensive lineman. He was a very athletic, big offensive lineman. And if you can get that on the field at your left tackle spot, I just think that's so important. And I know you can go with the guy that's got some experience there if he doesn't make it, but I think he could be an upgrade over anything else. If not, you just kind of spin your wheels a little bit over what you had last season.
All right, very good, guys. Appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to ask which Vol is the best bet to have a breakout season. So this isn't necessarily a newcomer. This is who do we expect to have the most likely opportunity to be a big breakout performer in 2016. We'll tell you on the other side of this break. Come on back on the Sports Source.